think most of you know that I'm a plant manager, operations leader. That's my background in heavy industry for years. And one of the questions I often get asked is uh, how to become a CMRP, Certified Maintenance and Reliability Professional, sanctioned by SMRP, Society of Maintenance and Reliability Professionals. It's really the crown jewel, what people look for as a certification to be a member of the club of reliability people. And I recommend a lot of books, but I was exposed in a conference last week to a video series put on by John Ross, greatly respected individual and leader in this space. He writes articles, gives talks, presentations. He's a consultant. And I'm going to leave a link below to a 14-hour course, video course online. Take it at your leisure. You have access to it for a whole year. I'm going to leave a link to that because it's now my go-to recommendation for you if you want to become a CMRP, okay? International, anybody can look at this. It's on Noria's website, okay? So, hey, last week had another conversation with an individual contributor. People just, I don't know, I'm a magnet for people. I talk to people in elevators. I talk to people and wherever I see them. This one individual contributor, this person was a maintenance tech, happened to be a lube tech. Yeah, very experienced lube tech, doing really well. But I sat down with him and he said, everyone in maintenance is a hole. Those are his words. And a lot of you maintenance people were used to using those that kind of language, unfortunately. But he said, hey, all these best practices, all these culture change things, they're all nice, but they won't work at my plant because everybody's an a-hole. And I said, got a couple comments here. I said, do you think you hired that kind of people? You think your company went out and said, hey, we're going to hire the worst employees? Or were they good at one time? Did they come in wanting to fix, maintain and improve with energy to do a good job? What if you hired people that wanted to come through the gate and do a good job today? You hired people like that. What happened? What happened to them? Let's try something different instead of having an us, them kind of, assigning labels to people. Let's try something a little bit different. Okay, I'm going to use my change model again. I've used this several times before. Very simple. I'm a simple guy. This is from Partners in Leadership. They call this the results pyramid. This is how you change a culture. I want you, through several videos of mine, to change a culture and not think that that is hard. Do not think the culture change is hard. Here's a simple model to help you understand what you're trying to do. Experiences is at the bottom of the pyramid, okay? So experiences, experiences of failure, experiences of success in your life, things you did well, things you didn't do well. You learn from all those things. Things other, mentors may tell you, bosses may tell you, peers. You go through life experiences and those form your beliefs. And those beliefs that you have, you put together patterns and of how you do this hard work and you get rewarded for that. Those beliefs turn into actions on your part, okay? And those actions turn into results. So how do you change a culture? One experience at a time. You start creating new experiences. You don't tell people how to behave. You give them new experiences that help them change their beliefs. So let's see if we can do that for the a-holes that you happen to have in every position in maintenance at your plant. I wish I could remember the author of this quote, but it is, you get the culture you deserve. And so let's go through some actions to change the dance, to change the culture, create those new experiences at the bottom of the pyramid, and let's see what happens, okay? All right, I'll talk about my experience of what happens. Number one, I only have 3 of them here, but they're good ones. And a couple of them, I bet these first 2 you'd never heard of. Number one, we had a touch plan. Not my name. I learned this from somebody in operations years ago. And, we always focus on the bad 10%. If you have 100 people in your organization, I'm telling you, 5 to 10% of them, I used to say 5, people convinced me it's closer to 10. They could be unchangeable. They could be so fixed in their ways. They could be a-holes, as was described in the first slide. They very well could be. We actually took every single person in the department. Let's just say there was 100 people, and we listed out. We put them in sections by attitude. People with just great attitude, people that were fence setters, and people that were, I'll just call them a-holes. We weren't going to spend any time on these 10%. Doesn't matter if we're handing out gold bars, they're going to be upset. But these 90, let's make sure that everybody on my leadership team has the opportunity or has the assignment, the responsibility to go out and have a one-on-one conversation with each one of these people. Now, I really said that wrong. So we had 90 people. Say I had 9 people on my staff, including me. Each one of us would take 10. And during the month of August, my responsibility is the 10 people I was assigned to, I would go out and have a one-on-one conversation with them. Talk, hey, what are you working on? Here's why that's important. You got any ideas about making that better? Here's what's going on in the greater reliability and maintenance arena. Here's how this is important. Here's what I'm trying to do. Hey, thanks. Just maybe a 7, 8, 10-minute conversation. And then we rotated those. So I have a different 10 people the next month. So that was called our touch plan. Huge impact from that. Now, some of you out there are saying, hey, I could be more efficient. I'll just call these 100 people or call the 90. You can't really, that's usually difficult. Call them into a meeting. Don't invite the 10, say you're a-holes so you can't come. And then try to have a meeting to motivate, encourage the 90. I've never found that to work. You have some people dominate the conversation. A lot of your good people just like doing a good job themselves, and they don't like being on stage and making a scene in front of 100 people. So one-on-one, that's one-on-one, folks. People are rewarded, recognized, and they feel good, genuine when you deal with them one-on-one, okay? Touch plan, huge impact. Number 2, and I actually got corporate recognition for this one, handwritten notes. Refrigerator worthy is what that stands for. So catch people doing something well. We always, if somebody repairs a piece of equipment and it doesn't work right, we're very quick to tell them they screwed up. But if it works perfect, how often do we go back to that mechanic, electrician, and pat them on the back and say, great job? Catch somebody doing something right. Say, for an example, somebody on a routine inspection finds a bad bearing and they replace that bearing. Maybe you don't replace it then, but you highlight it. It gets repaired in the next outage in a planned, kitted, staged way. They just did something really good. Their skills came through. Handwritten note, either as the maintenance manager, the technical manager, plant manager. I had a practice when I was plant manager. I wrote 2 of these a week. They were handwritten notes. They were called successory cards. And, something with, a little inspirational saying on it, size of a birthday card. And I just wrote, hey, Jim, excellent find with the bearing the other day. I really appreciate it. The last time that failed, we were down for 3 days. Cost us $50,000. You found it. We did it in a planned, kitted, staged way. We fixed it for, $800. That's really big. As you know, we're trying to cut our maintenance expenses, cut our waste down 10% this year. We're in a very competitive market, and it's actions like this that make a difference. I just wanted to say thanks. Signed, Joe Kuhn, plant manager, and I would put the date on there. And I would mail that to their home. Mail it to their home. Don't hand it to them. Don't make a public scene at work. Mail it to their home. It looks like a birthday card. They get home. Usually the spouse opens it up and says, what is this? And then they have to explain to their spouse what this card is. And it is a huge motivator. It's got to be genuine, but a huge motivator of catching people doing things well. This gets exciting. I love doing this. Kind of hurt my hand after a while. I don't write handwritten notes very often, but I'm telling you, set yourself an expectation to write at least 1 a week. You'll be shocked at what happens. 100% of these people that I wrote cards to, 100% of them came to me within a week and shook my hand. And they said, "Hi, I've been working here 25 years. Nobody's ever told me thanks. Nobody's ever recognized me for being innovative and creative in my solutions. I really appreciate it." And they have to admit that to their family, and they put it on the refrigerator. So excellent one, handwritten. It can't. Don't try to shortcut this by writing them an email. Don't try to hand it to them at work. Mail it to their house. Okay, it's very critical. You follow all those steps I said. Okay, number 3, leader standard work. Okay, when was the last time you as a leader went out and audited a PM, audited a planned job, and audited a failure? What I did at my plant is every Tuesday after our morning meeting, we had a daily management meeting at 9 o'clock in the morning. We went out and audited 2 PMs that were conducted the previous week. On Wednesday, we would audit a planned job. We'd go out and, the maintenance manager and myself, maybe the technical leader, maybe a planner, three of us would go out and we'd audit a planned job. That's on Wednesday. Tuesdays, PMs, Wednesday. Failures, anytime we had a failure, that was automatically. So we automatically put on our hard hats and go and see. Talk to the mechanics that are out there, the electricians, what happened. Go find them in their shop and say, "Hey, you repaired this. What did you see?" And show interest by spending your time out there. Don't manage from the conference room. I call that managing by Facebook. You look at your KPIs and you sit around and talk. You're managing by Facebook. Go out and see. Do you ever spend a day in the life of a mechanic? This needs to be part of your go and see culture, and look at the frustrations that a mechanic and electrician has to deal with. Okay, and I'm just using them as an example of your maintenance people. It's very common to have 50% of their time being wasted. So you got these people that you're labeling a-holes. They're highly skilled. They know what they're doing. And you're giving them, you tell them to change out a gearbox. You give them the gearbox and you don't give them any other tools. They have to find a fork truck. It's broken or somebody else is using it. This gearbox, you don't have the right oil to put in it. You got to go find that at 3 or 4 different shops. The shaft is the wrong size. The keywave's not cut in it. The footprint is different than the other one. The elevation is different than the one they're taking out. So they're on this massive, frustrating job trying to install this gearbox with 50, 60, 75% of their time being completely wasted. Okay, now if that was you in your job, and I hired you and told you that you wanted to come in and do a good job, you wanted your ideas to be used, you wanted equipment to run well, and then I give you 1 part of 10 that you need for a job, and I don't give you the equipment to do the job. Fast forward 20 years, you're an a-hole, right? Right. So look at their life and see what you can do. You have to make part of your standard work. I'm going to spend, as a maintenance manager, as a plant manager, I'm going to spend 4 hours with this maintenance crew. I'm going to spend 8 hours with this maintenance crew. Maybe it's once a quarter. You do that to see what they have to live with. And don't write off what you see as an anomaly. You're living a day in their life, and it could be frustrating. 50% wasted time is that's a very good number at most plants. I see that number as high as 80% at plants. Okay, listen. So hey, you start treating people differently. These 3 techniques, you change their experience of you as a leader, you'll get different results. This is Joe out.